What's up, everybody? Just thought I'd go live for a little while. I'm going to cover just about four topics. One, I'm going to talk about military. Military is different than civil. Going to talk about that. Going to discuss the authority and who gets to make that decision, because we still seem to have a little misunderstanding with some veterans out there who seem to just not get it, who seem to not understand how to read and where the orders come from. It ain't many, so not going to be talking down to you, the people, because it's pretty sad if veterans can't get it, then no wonder our society looks like it does. Number three, it's called The Boom with two Q's. We're going to show you something that was sent to me this week by a friend of mine, who we won't release the name of the person because of their job jeopardy, but I'm going to show you some cool stuff. We're going to flip the phone around a little bit, so we're going to make this real relaxed. And then the fourth will be some comms from President Trump's speech, some specific comms to show you the optics that we are in a full military occupancy. And it's really cool because it's going to benefit everybody. As President Trump said a few weeks ago at a speech, he said that even the haters and trolls do not realize that this is going to make their life great. Anyway, so if you're just now watching, or if you're someone who's brand new, if you haven't seen any of my videos, you need to go back and watch the video. You need to watch video. Having issues connecting here, so they must be monitoring me. So, first and foremost, if you haven't seen my videos, once again, you got to go look and catch up, because this is going to be a more dissected version of what people already know who has been following me and others that have broken down the military occupancy out there. I'm not the only one, but I have a formula and a blueprint that will help you take all this loads of laws and orders and put it in a blueprint and be able to see it from an airplane view. So first and foremost, you have to understand that President Trump, how did he know in 2018? Once again, this sounds like a broken record, but how did he know in 2018 to declare a national emergency inside an executive order and also an election fraud committee? Long before midterm 2018 and long before the presidential election. How did he know to declare a national emergency? So you have to know what a national emergency is first and foremost. A national emergency that's not addressed by Congress means that was a breach of Congress. Means it was a breach of national security. They did not look after you, the people. No matter what you thought about the president, when Congress did not do so, it became a breach of your national security. As President Trump said all the time, we have it all, we've caught them all. All crimes and evidence will be displayed to the public in full accordance to the law. Law, law, law. Not long ago, someone said, hey, we ought to play a drinking game. Every time Derek Johnson says law and order, take a swig. I don't know how many times he's going to have to say, we have a government for a reason. We have a system, okay? It's a man-made system. And every one of you, every single person has made a joke in their lifetime about career politicians, which is true. It's a federal corporation. So without having to go back through everything, you have to understand that military law is separate than civil law. I'm going to show you that right here. But military law is separate than civil law. We have a military that came first. The Army, the Navy, and the Marines, and the first 69 articles of military law, which became the Uniform Code of Military Justice, came before our Declaration of Independence. All right. And then our founders declared independence 7 years before the war ended, which is very monumental. So you have to understand your history first and foremost. Our founders made military precedent. Our founders made it to where military can act without Congress. It can act without career politicians and these corrupt people, this corrupt system that we've had for 150 years. So you have to understand those things. You must know that the military acts for you, the people. The military don't operate for any one person or any one thing. The military operates for you, the people. It is plain and simple. I know I say plain and simple a lot too, but you must understand your foundation first, and then understand that I tell you right now, most veterans, even if veterans don't know what's going on, they can understand what? They take orders. Where do the orders come from? We have a chain of command for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. A chain of command. And for you veterans out there that keep sending me messages, there's a few of you, it ain't a bunch. There's a lot of veterans, a lot more veterans who know what's going on. And a lot of high-ranking officials who have contacted me or met with me and said, man, keep doing what you're doing. God bless your platform. But there's just a few that keep trickling in that just don't seem to get it. And you are a disgrace to this nation. It's sad because you go tell people that this ain't happening when all you got to do is read. As JFK said, we are an open society. Our law, everything I've told you is open to read. It's not secretive. Now, you got to know where to find it. You got to go what you're looking for, absolutely. But once you find it, you have a brain. Use it. Read. It's pretty sad that we have some veterans still out there that are misleading people for their own self-narrative or just because they're ignorant or lazy or too complacent to read. We have orders. Where do the orders come from? We don't just wake up in the military and go, oh, especially if you were National Guard. I wasn't National Guard. I was active duty. But the whole reason people go into National Guard is because they work civilian jobs and that they do one weekend of duty a month. One weekend. Now, they have some states clarify that they get 2 weeks of the year to go active duty. But they're called National Guard for a reason. I'm not picking on National Guard. I'm not one of those veterans that talks about National Guard and the weekend warriors and all that. But there's a difference in National Guard and active duty. Why didn't they go active duty if they were going to be federalized the whole time? Why? Why would they go into National Guard if they didn't want to be federalized? There's a big difference. You must read what the laws say. Whew. So I'm gonna pipe it down. I had an email from a lady this week, said treat me like your grandmother and quit yelling. I'm not yelling, first and foremost. It's called passion. And I truly cannot understand how people, especially veterans though, cannot go read what they swore in under and the very laws that they claim to serve for. It's beyond me. Title 10 is what you swear in under. Title 10, once again, I, Derek Johnson, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the officers appointed over me, according to what? Regulations, which what shows you how you get activated, regulations, and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is military law. So help me God. Title 10. That's the same Title 10. And it blows my mind that there's still veterans out there that want to write in and say, hey, buddy, you need some help. I got an 06 you can talk to. I have plenty officers. I have plenty generals. I have plenty who tell me, keep doing what you're doing, son. You're fulfilling your service. You didn't get to serve 20, 25, 30 years like you wanted, but you're still serving. Your oath didn't expire. Now you're getting to fulfill a grander purpose because you wouldn't have been able to say this in the service because you'd have been under oath and you'd have been under an NSA. And you couldn't have told the people this. You couldn't have told the people we're in a military occupancy because when you're under oath and you're in military service right now, you ain't supposed to be telling people what's going on. But you dang sure ain't supposed to be telling them what ain't going on when it is going on. You're supposed to fulfill your service. Fulfill your service. If you're still in service, keep your mouth shut and do your freaking duty for the people. If you're out of service and you're telling people this ain't going on, you are lazy and you're complacent and you refuse to read. Whew. Donald John Trump issued a national emergency, declared a national emergency 2 years before COVID and 2 years before the election, the presidential election, in Executive Order 13848. There's no way he could have done that. There's no way that he did that without already knowing. It's a military occupancy, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to show you the Law of War Manual. I'm going to show it to you right here. Law of War Manual was put out. I'm going to flip it around for you. Let me flip the camera around here. Department of Defense Law of War Manual, June 2015, updated 2016. Office of General Counsel, Department of Defense. There you go. Right there. Look at all that. Look at all these U.S. codes here. Oh, look at there. What in the world is that? 10 U.S. code. There's the same Title 10 right there. There it is. Where you at, veterans? Where you at, veterans that you trolls, you veteran trolls? Where you at? There's the same Title 10 right there. Same Title 10. Same Title 10 that President Donald John Trump did what? Well, let's read the Declaration of a National Emergency. This is 50 U.S. Code, Chapter 34. What does that say? War and national defense. National emergencies. Declaration of a national emergency by executive order authority. Publication in Federal Register. Transmittal to Congress. What does this say? When the President declares a national emergency, no powers or authorities made available by statute for use in the event of emergency shall be exercised unless and until the President specifies the provisions of law. Woo! Man, just think if you only read what the dang law said. Now let's go over here and look at Section 12302, Ready Reserve. In the time of national emergency declared by the President after January 1st, 1953. Good Lord have mercy. Just think how long that's been in law. Wow. That's older than my mom. That's before she was born. In a time of national emergency declared by the President after January the 1st, 1953. That is when Hank Williams Sr. died, ladies and gentlemen. That is how long this law has been in order. Or otherwise authorized by law, law and authority designated by the Secretary concerned may. Oh, that would be the Secretary of Defense. Now let's go over here. Looky here. President Donald John Trump did what? Let's just do this one first. National Emergency Authority to order selective reserve and certain members of individual ready reserve to armed forces to active duty. Boy, boy, boy. Look at that. The National Emergencies Act in there. Proclamation 994. There's a bunch of stuff in here you have to go read. Look at there. The authorities under Section 12302, which I just read to you. Sections 2127, 2308, 2314, and 3735 of Title 14 United States Code are invoked and made available to the terms of the Secretaries of Defense and Homeland Security. Now let's go on down here. What does this read? Authorized to order to active duty not to exceed 24 consecutive months. Very key right there, ladies and gentlemen, consecutive months. Such units and individual members of the Ready Reserve under the jurisdiction of the Secretary concerned not to exceed 1 million members on active duty at any one time. As a Secretary and with respect to the Coast Guard, we're not operating as a service in the Navy. Woo! And then let's go over here. Who is the only person who can federalize the National Guard to active duty? Look at here. Look, there's that Title 10 again. Look at that. Title 10 again. 12406. National Guard in federal service. Whenever the United States or any of commonwealths or possessions is invaded or is in danger by a foreign nation, there is rebellion or danger of a rebellion against the authority of government of the United States, or the President is unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States, the President may call into federal service members and units of National Guard of any state in such numbers as he considers necessary to repel the invasion, suppress the rebellion, or execute those laws. What laws, Derek? What laws are we talking about? Oh, what is this law? The National Emergency Authority to the Selective Reserve, and also Executive Order 13848, Executive Order 13919. There's plenty of executive orders of laws. Now let's go look at the Alabama National Guard. I pulled up just a few random states because I'm not going to pull up all 50 for you. But let's just look at this right here. What does this say right here? Alabama National Guard is the National Guard of the U.S. state of Alabama and consists of the Alabama Army National Guard and the Alabama Air National Guard. The National Guard is charged with dual federal and state missions. The state functions range from limited actions during non-emergency situations to the full scale of law enforcement and martial law. The National Guard may be called into federal service by who? Who's that say? The President under either Title 10 or Title 32. When National Guard troops are called into federal service, the President serves as Commander-in-Chief. All right. Let's scroll down. Let's go to Washington National Guard. Let's see what this says. At the call of the governor, the Washington National Guard will mobilize and deploy during times of state emergency to augment local jurisdictions and responders in their efforts to protect lives and property. What's this say right here? The Washington National Guard is also subject to the call of the who? The President of the United States to serve as a part of the total U.S. military force. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lanta. Did it just say that? Okay, let's go over to the Maine National Guard. Let's go up to the Northeast. Let's read what the Northeast says. Maybe the Yankees are a little bit different. Let's just see. Who knows? Maybe Derek's wrong about something. Let's see. National coordination of various National Guard units are maintained through the National Guard Bureau. The Guard is administered by the Adjutant General, an appointee of the Governor of Maine. The Constitution of the United States specifically charges the National Guard with dual federal and state missions. Those functions range from limited actions during non-emergency situations to full-scale law enforcement when local law enforcement officials can no longer. Maine's Army National Guard units are trained and equipped part of the United States Army. The Maine National Guard is Let's see right here. It'll tell you that they are federally authorized by the President. Let's go up here to, who's this right here? Arizona National Guard. Let's see what Arizona National Guard says. National Guard units can be mobilized by any time by presidential order. Look at that. It even shows you right there. You can click on that right there. To supplement regular armed forces and upon declaration of a state emergency by the governor of the state in which they serve. National Guards can be mobilized by the president to supplement regular armed forces and then only by the governor for state emergencies. Well, that's weird. Why do they keep saying the same things? I guess I'm not a veteran like I thought I was, because clearly they keep saying the same thing. Weird to me. It's Wisconsin here. Its federal mission is to provide trained units to the United States Army in time of war or national emergency. Weird. That is so weird. They keep saying the same thing. Look at this. Members of the National Guard are typically part-time soldiers who attend units drill weekend 1 per month and serve a 2-week annual of tour active duty. The governor, who is the commander-in-chief of the Guard when not activated for federal service, appoints the adjutant general who directs the Wisconsin military affairs of which the Guard is part of. When not part of federal service. But they do what? Its federal mission is to provide trained units to the United States Army in time of war or national emergency, which means what? Federalized. Lord God, help us, Jesus. And then, here we go. National emergencies. The only person who can terminate a national emergency. Look at this right here. Termination. Let's do this right here. Termination methods. Any national emergency declared by the President in accordance with this subchapter shall terminate if there is enacted into law a joint resolution there, key word, ladies and gentlemen, terminating the emergency, or the president issues a proclamation terminating. Getting so excited here. Proclamation. Has Donald John Trump issued any proclamation terminating his 3 national emergencies that were declared that Congress failed to declare? No, they have not. None whatsoever. All right, so let's move forward. Let's look at some comms the other night. First and foremost, well, let's go back to this. Oh, I forgot about that one. Military courts martial under Military Justice Act. It'd be in your best interest to go read this right here. This right here. Military Justice Act of 2016. Look at that. August 28, 2020. The Supreme Court has called military justice system of justice separate from what? Civilian courts. Members of the armed forces are subject to rules, orders, proceedings, and consequences. What's it say? What's that word they say? Different from the rights and obligations of their civilian counterparts. Accordingly, it might be said that the discipline is as important as liberty interest in the military justice system. The Constitution specifically exempts military members accused of crime from the Fifth Amendment right to a grand jury. Ooh, whoa! What? Military members they can't claim the Fifth? Oh, dear God, help us. However, in part, because of the different standards provided in courts martial, their jurisdiction is limited to those persons and offenses the military has legitimate interest in regulating. Congress enacted the Uniform Code of Military Justice under its constitutional authority to provide for disciplining the land and naval forces. Presidents have implemented the UCMJ through the Manual for Courts Martial. The Manual for Courts Martial contains the rules for courts martial, the military rules of evidence, and the punitive articles of the Unified Code of Military Justice with commentary. The MCM covers most all aspects of military law. The UCMJ gives courts martials jurisdiction over service members as well as other categories of individuals connected to the uniformed services. Go read it, ladies and gentlemen. We're under a law of war manual right here. Law of war manual. Donald John Trump is a military plug. He was plugged by the military. Now let's look at this right here. Not going to show you that. Let's see right here. All right, so this was sent to me from a friend. This friend's friend is a Marine, as you see right here, Major Marine Helicopter Squadron. All right, this was when he was serving under Donald John Trump. Notice this right here, White House Military Office.mil. All right, White House Military Office.mil. Now, this is when he went to this. Look at there. Oh, this is Biden's email. State.gov. Oh, weird. Sorry for the delay. Yes, this would be Air Force One, Air Force Two. I cannot confirm, which is a continuation of government, ladies and gentlemen. Because Biden has never been on the real Air Force One or Air Force Two. Biden is an actor. He's what they call a Commonwealth Act number 671. As you read back here with the Commonwealths. Let's find it again, though. Whenever the Commonwealth, where was that at over here? That. Commonwealths. Okay? We have jurisdiction over that. So let's go back here. Now let me show you something. I'm going to show y'all how y'all search this stuff. Let me show you how Donald John Trump is the commander-in-chief of a military occupancy. Military, you do this right here. Type in White House Military Office. Just regular. Enter. Oh, what's that? Look at there. Look at the first thing that pops up. ObamaWhiteHouse.archives.gov. That's the first thing that pops up, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's just click on it just where you can see it really quick. The White House Military Office. Here's the White House. Look. All right, White House Military Office. It tells you what they do. They provide Support for White House functions, including food service, presidential transportation, medical support, emergency medical services, and hospitality services. You can go read it for yourself. Now let's go back. Now let's just do this. Let's just type in Biden. Let's just type in Biden. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. The only thing that pops up second is called the executive branch, but that's not the White House military office. See that? The executive branch. Okay, that means continuation of government right here when that pops up. Now let me show you why Trump was a military plug. He should also have a whitehouse.archives.gov, right? Oh, we don't. Uh-oh. Where's Trump at? Holy smokes. Trump ain't even on here. Holy crap. So Biden ain't on here and Trump ain't on here. Where you at? Where are both of you at? The first thing that pops up, the only thing that pops up is Obama. Now let's go back and look at this one more time. Look at the year on that. 2015, this is the Department of Defense Law War Manual, which was be the military occupancy. All right, now let's go back. Let's go back here. Nothing. Now let's click on this. Now let's go back to this. Military office. Now I already got it pulled up. You can click on right here. You can go to the Wikipedia page. I hate Wikipedia, but they're the only one that have the past directors. Now let's look at it now. There they are. Now let's go up here. The last one ended January 21st, 2022. Look at here. Since January 21st, 2022, there's not been a White House military officer. Now that proves continuation of government. Because if you understand what military occupancy means, when President Donald John Trump, when he federalized right here, let's go back, when he federalized 1 million service members to active duty, he would have had to sign what they call a PED, a Presidential Emergency Action Document, which would have required a COG, a continuation of government, okay? So it would have required a COG, which would have been what? For you to see what you've been seeing. Y'all would have been seeing these actors and actresses playing this role, which is true. That's what's been happening. So let's look at something real quick. This is on, I don't know if I can flip my phone around, so we'll go back. Now watch this. Just listen. I'm going to try to get it near the volume.
Oh, there is the Abraham Lincoln China Punch Bowl. Okay, pretty funky. Yeah, this is about moving day. This is crazy. On moving day.
Here's moving day.
Well-oiled machine.
9:30 a.m., 10 a.m. Biden swore in at 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a violation of the 20th Amendment. Specifically showed you 12:01 p.m.
All right, let's go down over here and see what we see.
I'll provide the link in this later where you can watch this slow-mo. This was uploaded 10 months ago.
And a Christmas tree.
Now just hang tight. Now you're going to see it really close.
I think this is what you guys have been asking about. A display of all the presidents.
All the presidents.
Through Trump, though.
Oh, where's old Biden? Where's Joe? Where's Joe Biden at? Where's Joe? This was just 10 months ago this guy uploaded it. There you go. If you want to go look it up right now, if you want to do that, that's fine. Where's Joe? Daggum. Joe, you've changed color. Holy smokes, Joe. Where'd you go? 2017. Don't even have the end date on there. I thought Trump was a civilian now. I'll be dang. All right, so there's that. Shows you, it proves to you once again, when you can't find it, Biden don't have one and Trump don't have one. Military occupancy. All right, so now let's go to this. I'm going to pull up some comms from the speech the other night. I'm going to show you some things right here. He said, let me flip it back around really quick. He said, once out of this ditch, we will see things never seen before. And he used his hand as a ditch. I will ensure Joe Biden does not receive 4 more years. Who says Joe Biden's even running in 4 more years? Who says he's going to run in 2 more years? Who says Joe Biden's going to be the pick by the Democratic Party? That's how they do it. That's why they use their voting systems to cheat. The voting systems, the voter fraud was never about voter fraud from your state or your standpoint. And when you realize that, when that clicks, that voter fraud was never about you, never about your state, when it was about the Dominion systems and electronic voting for them to put their people in to do what? Money laundering on the back end, the senior executives back here for genocides and trafficking. When that finally clicks with you, it will click and you'll understand. I will ensure, that's a strong word, ensure, when he's 232 wins and 22 losses this time around. The 22 losses, the same states from 2020, which once again, we have it all, we've caught them all. All crimes and evidence would be displayed to the public in full accordance to the law. And now that you know that it's a military occupancy, because that's what that specifically shows you, no White House military office right now, because there's no such thing as a White House right now. When you apply all this together, we don't have to endure what's happened in D.C. Well, why aren't we talking about the country? Oh, that's right, because D.C., the Washington establishment, the swamp, the deep state, D.C. has their own federal corporation. When you go and understand that, the Organic Act of 1871, Stoutenberg versus Hennett, 28 United States Code 3002, which outlines the United States as a federal corporation. Then go type in. Let me just show you since we're right here. DC, look at this. Let's do it with each other. DCCouncil.gov. Oh my goodness. Council of the District of Columbia. Law. Look at that. Legislation and laws. Oh my goodness. They have their own codes. They have their own laws. How a bill becomes a law? DCCouncil.gov. They have their own seal and motto. Ladies and gentlemen, when you go understand that what we call the career politicians for the last 150 years, when you apply that these corrupt politicians have been using the District of Columbia's Constitution, the District of Columbia's laws, the District of Columbia's codes on you, the people, you will want to revolt. You will want to get fired up and you'll want to get mad and angry, and this will all click. Economic security is national security. Well, that's funny because in one of Donald Trump's executive orders, he said, along with the National Security Act of 1947, which established what? The National Military Establishment, which became the what? The Department of Defense, which also created the what? The Secretary of Defense, which is what all these executive orders say, the Secretary concerned. Ooh, boy. As Commander-in-Chief, he says, as Commander-in-Chief, I'll do what? I will get out Biden's radical left ideology out of our military. And I will do what? I will rehire every single patriot who was fired. So every single soldier who was relieved of duty, I will rehire them with a full apology and what? And full back pay. Well, I'm a walking testimony of that. August 2020, President Trump said in a speech, if you're a 100% disabled veteran, I will wipe out all your student loans and certain debts. Well, in October 2020, guess who received a letter from all my creditors that my debt had been wiped and clean? Donald John Trump from 2016 campaign trail, 2017 coming in, all the way to present day, has kept his promises. Every single one of them. Every single thing he said has come true. And it's up to you to wake up and realize that. There's so much stuff happening that people can only focus on negative stuff. There's so much stuff happening. Our gravest threats are not abroad, but from within. There's one calm in that, optic in that, gravest. Why did he use the word gravest of all words? Our gravest threats are not abroad, they're within. The weaponization of what? The justice system, Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA. He called them all out. He said the festering rot of D.C. will be cleaned out. He then talked about the National Guard in his speech Tuesday night. If they don't want our help, we will insist it. Meaning they're going to get it no matter what. Who's they? The governors, the states, the governors. If they don't want our help, too bad. The National Guard are coming in to do what? He said help is on the way, which is the National Guard, the military occupancy. When you realize you're in a military occupancy, when you read the law war manual, when you understand that there's not a White House military office, when you understand that you're in a military occupancy, which means the world, an alliance of generals, go read the law war manual. It'll tell you. I'm not going to sit here and tell all of it. Help is on the way. We're going to dismantle the deep state. He said we will clean out gangs and street crime. That means National Guard. That means martial law, ladies and gentlemen. 75 to 85% of crime will be demolished. No more. That means National Guard, ladies and gentlemen. That means martial law, ladies and gentlemen. We will have a quick trial. A quick trial. He's talking about China. We will have a quick trial. Death penalty. Trial in the morning, execution by the end day. That is military tribunals, ladies and gentlemen. Go read the Military Justice Act of 2016. Go read the Law War Manual. Go read it. We're in a military occupancy. Those are all comms, as we call it, or optics for what's coming. New York Times has already reported. You can go look at New York Times. It says it. Let me see. New York Times, military tribunals. Let me go ahead and pull it up for you right here. New York Times, December 29th, 2021. Pentagon building new secret courtroom at Guantanamo Bay. The concept is to permit 2 military judges to hold proceedings simultaneously starting in mid-2023. Boom! New York Times said it, not Derek Johnson. They put their reputation on the line. I don't have to worry about that. That's New York Times. If this ain't true, like some of these people out there, well, how do I know? Go read what the law says. You have to put all this together like a puzzle, as I've done. I have a blueprint for you. It's all there. From every single law and order from 2017 to present day is a blueprint. Here's your other big comm as I went over the other night. Nancy has been fired. She is on her way to another country. He said that Tuesday night. And then the next day, what did I post on Facebook? What did I post? 2 pictures leaving Jacksonville, Florida, and Miami. 2 aircraft with the call signs Gitmo. Biden campaigned in these are optics for you. Biden campaigned in 2016, which would have been under the military occupancy, the Law War Manual. This was all an operation, all a plan. Biden campaigned he was going to shut down Guantanamo Bay. If he was president, he could shut down Guantanamo Bay. If Biden was president, he has every power. He would have had every power that every other president has. How come he ain't done it? You got to wake up, ladies and gentlemen, and understand the powers of the president. You have to understand the laws of the president, the Constitution. There's 2 different constitutions that the career politicians talk about, though. You have the D.C., the federal corporation. Let me do this like this. You have the federal corporation and their constitution, their laws, their codes. Then you have the Constitution of the United States of America. That's why there seems to be this misinformation out there, and people say, I don't know who to believe. There's so much information. You got to understand your foundation. It's plain and simple. So let's get to the main comm of the night. This is the one I wanted to show everybody. This shows the military White House office, the White House military office, however you want to say it. That should prove to you right there. Biden don't pop up, Trump don't pop up. But you visually saw the military behind President Trump all 4 years. You saw him at his inauguration in 2016 with the judge advocate generals and also the military intelligence soldiers behind him. Judge advocate generals, military intel. How do you think that we get intel to provide for courts and courts marshaling? Military intelligence. And then guess who judges that? Judge advocate generals. Mind-blowing, ain't it? So you have to understand laws and orders. We have a system. It can be fixed. It can be fixed. But you must understand. So I'm going to show you this speech right here. You got to watch closely. Hopefully it'll play loud enough.
Back wealth, health, and success to the American middle class and to America itself. Please. Yeah, please sit down. I feel so guilty having you stand. No. No, you've been standing for the whole event. I feel very guilty. I don't want that to happen. To every worker and family struggling to survive in the Biden economy with inflation destroying your family and your life, this campaign will be for you. Help is on the way. Joe Biden has abolished America's borders. We are going to restore and secure America's borders just like we had them before, best ever. We built the wall, and now we will add to it. Now, we built the wall, we completed the wall, and then we said, let's do more, and we did a lot more. And as we were doing it, we had an election that came up. And when they came in, they had 3 more weeks to complete the additions to the wall, which would have been great. And they said, no, we're not going to do that. And that's when I realized that they actually want to have this disaster known as open borders. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Let the ad play. Stupid ads.
But one of the reasons we had so much success at the border was because of the fact that 2 things. We got Mexico to give us free of charge 28,000 soldiers. That helps. And President of Mexico is a great gentleman, by the way. Socialist, but that's okay.
For some reason, it's playing the wrong section, so let's go back. Let's go back here.
Die, and they're laughing as it happens.
Sorry for that.
Economic security
There we
is
go.
national security, and that's what it is. We need economic security. That is why we will launch an all-out campaign to eliminate America's dependence on China. We will bring our supply chains, which are a disaster right now. You can't get
There we
anything,
go.
and good luck getting a turkey for Thanksgiving. Number one, you won't get it, and if you do, you're going to pay 3 to 4 times more than you paid last year. But we will bring our supply chains and manufacturing base back home, as we were strongly doing during the Trump administration, and we will systematically bring back wealth, health, and success to the American middle class and to America itself. Please. Yeah, please sit down. I feel so guilty having you stand.
All right, so where did it go?
Now,
For some reason,
you've been standing for the whole event. Every week they open up another, and then they talk about all of the
It's
things that
coming.
we do environmentally. They're watching us die with the Green New Deal, with our windmills
There
and
we
with
go.
our solar that doesn't have the power to fire up our great factories and our great plants. They are watching us die, and they're laughing as it happens. Remember, economic security is national security.
All right, so I'm gonna go look real quick, and we're gonna find this right here. So I'm gonna just read it to you. He said it. You can go back. So we're gonna read this right here. It's hurting our country. You know, Germany tried it. Germany tried it for about a year. Remember, I sent to Angela. Remember Angela? Do you remember Angela? Nobody's remembering her right now. Angela Merkel. I sent her a white flag of surrender. All right, so let's find that. Let me see if I can find it right here, because it's under, unless they just deleted it out, which that could be the case, but
Please.
let's see real quick. It's right around this mark here. So just
Please sit
chill
down.
for
I
a
feel
minute.
so
Let me
guilty
delete
having
all
you
these
stand.
out. 3846 mark.
Now you've been standing for the whole
3846.
event.
Let's see here. It's
I
coming
feel
up.
very guilty. I don't want that to happen. To every
Just
worker
chill
and
for a
family
minute.
struggling to survive in the Biden economy with inflation destroying your family and your life, this campaign will be
Just
for
wait a
you.
moment.
Help is on the way. Joe Biden has abolished America's borders. We are going to restore and secure America's borders just like we have.
What it is
before,
just
best
a
ever.
different
We built the wall.
broadcast. That's why.
And now we will add to it. Now we built the wall, we completed the wall, and then we said, let's do more. And
That's
we did a
why.
lot more.
This is a
And
different.
as we
It's
were-
a different broadcast, but that's okay because you can go watch it, and I have the speech here. I'm not gonna waste any more time. Remember Angela Merkel? I sent her a white flag of surrender. She said, "But why? But why do you send this to me, Donald?" I said, "Angela, I sent this to you because this is a flag of surrender. You're getting 78% of your energy from Russia, and when that happens, history has proven that it's not good for Germany. Just take a look over the last 150 years. It hasn't been good." Ladies and gentlemen, the last 150 years, first and foremost, 150 years. How did he? Well, first and foremost is this: why of all things? Why of all people? Why of all things? Why of all topics would he bring up Germany and Angela Merkel? Why? There's so much stuff. All you out there that don't like Trump, Orange Man bad, he's so egotistical and all. Of all the things he could have talked about in his ego, of all the topics, he talked about Germany and Angela Merkel Tuesday, November the 15th. Then, the second first and foremost is this. There's no coincidence that he spoke this topic and also all of the optic comms that I've got out of it. 58 optic comms as I did on my last video. 58 optics comms as we call it. So it's like code language that he sent. That everybody jumped ship. I saw my comment boxes. Oh my Lord, people jumping ship. That ain't what I wanted to hear. When you don't even know who the enemy is. What do you think he was going to say? When most people can't even identify who the enemy is, what did y'all think he was going to say? You know, the National Guard are fighting a different kind of fight right now. And most people can't identify that. But there were some major optics that night. And then this was of all things. Of all things. So there was that. There you have that. Then he said 150 years of all things. Well, why did he pick 150 years out of all the things he could have said? And why did he pick Angela Merkel of all the things he could have talked about since he has this ego everybody thinks he's got? Why of all things? All right, so I'm going to show you this. This was with Piers Morgan. Here's a better one. We'll just play this one because this one says it.
I had it out with her. I sent her the white flag of surrender. I sent her a white flag. It was in the form of a large...
You sent her one?
Oh, yeah,
Really?
I had it brought right over to her at a different table. I said, it's the white flag of surrender. She said, but what do you mean? I said, you are dependent on Russia for energy. You must be kidding. I mean, just look at the history of Germany and Russia. When it happens, you might as well just do me a favor. Lift this flag of surrender. You know what it was? It was a very luxurious...
All right, so you come over here. You can read this. There's old Merkel. Woof. Remember old Buzz and remember Kevin in Home Alone. They looked at Buzz's girlfriend. He was like, woof. Now that's a woof moment right there. Woof. While Merkel chose Russia over U.S. on Nord Stream. Okay, let's go down. If that sounds like a description of mid-July, so this happened a week before mid-July. So this would have happened in 2021 now. All right. So if this happened in mid-July 2021, that means that half of y'all think Joe Biden is president. Or maybe not half of y'all, but I'm talking about people who've never seen this, who've shared this. When y'all share this video, that means half of y'all think that Biden is president. And this happened a week before mid-July 2021. And this was Donald Trump saying, that was him saying that he sent her a white flag of surrender. A white flag of surrender. Very key. So that's why you can't jump ship like some people did Tuesday night when Donald John Trump was speaking, because there was a lot of what they call code language and optic comms in that. And I'm about to show you. So once again, as I've already showed you, there was no White House military officer. There's no director all this year. There was nothing that popped up for Biden or for Trump. But you see the Law of War manual was written when? 2015 and updated 2016. So that should show you right there, if the only White House military officer in office that's popping up is Obama was the last, which would have been what? 2016? And then what? Who won presidency 2016? No, he was a military plug. Donald John Trump was a military plug by the World Alliance of Generals and also our military. He's a plug by our Department of Defense. It proves it to you. And then that comment right there, all the comments I just shared with you, all the Gitmo comments, all those were nothing but military tribunal comments that I mentioned. And also National Guard taking over, which would be martial law, That means all those I just dropped tonight. And then this right here, ladies and gentlemen, about to show you. This is going to be freaking fun. All right, so the white flag of surrender. Let's do this again. The white flag of surrender. All right, you heard it right there. I sent her a white flag of surrender. If she did that in July 2021, then look at this article, what it says. This was him sitting down with Piers Morgan. Look, April 25th, 2022. And if y'all think Joe Biden is president, you're a fool. Or you're just blind. Because I'm showing you, he's not. We're under a military occupancy. Now watch this. White flag of surrender. Of all topics, of all people that President Trump could have talked about Tuesday night, and of all things he could have said, a white flag of surrender. Well, let's do this. Look at here. Chapter 12 of the Law of War Manual. Non-hostile relations between belligerents. Look at number 4 right here. What does that say, ladies and gentlemen? White flag of truce to initiate negotiations. Oh. Look at there, the Law of War Manual. Military occupancy, non-hostile relations between belligerents. And chapter 12.4 is called the White Flag of Truce to initiate negotiations. Now let's scroll down to 12.4 and let's read it. Let's find the word surrender in there. Is there a word of surrender in there? The meaning of the white flag, a desire to communicate. As a legal matter, the white flag, when used by military forces, indicates a desire to communicate with the enemy. The hoisting of a white flag has no other legal meaning in the law of war. The hoisting of a white flag may indicate that the party hoisting it desires to open communication with a view to an armistice or surrender. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in a military occupancy. The Commander-in-Chief is Donald John Trump. The Law of War Manual, 2015, updated 2016. You saw Donald John Trump with the military behind him, 2016, on his inauguration, which were the stripes you saw, judge, advocate, generals, and also military intel. Then, in 2018, he declared a national emergency and an election fraud committee inside Executive Order 13848 2 years before COVID and 2 years before the presidential election, ladies and gentlemen. And then he, called into service, federalized 1 million National Guard to active status on top of our already active duty. It's all right in front of you. It's up to you to read. I only have one telegram while we're on here. One telegram, ladies and gentlemen. Only one. Rattle Trap 1776. All one word. No periods, no spaces, no underscores. I only have one Rumble. All right, that is Rattle Trap 1776. I have all these videos. I take all the videos from Facebook, put on Rumble. But you can also look up some of my interviews on Rumble. I've been on multiple shows. I'll be on a lot this week. I have about 2 a day this week, all this week. Multiple shows. I'll post them. Everything is open, laws, orders. I have a True Social at Derek Johnson. I have the 1776 page here. I have the documents.info, which show the PDF documents. The documents.info that shows you all the laws and orders from 2017 to 2021 that puts it in a blueprint for you. I don't ask for money. There's no subscription. I don't make money off this except for donations. That's the only thing I've received are donations. So I don't have subscriptions. I will never have subscriptions. It's law and order, and it's also my service beyond my service. It's upholding my oath. It's upholding what the promise I made to this country. I don't have a subscription. I didn't drip drop you like multiple platforms have done for the last 2 years. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful who you follow. Be careful who you put your faith into. Don't put your faith and stock into me. Put your faith and stock into God and also the military that's operating under his command and all of the World Alliance of Generals that have nothing but your best interest. nothing but your best interest. We in the military do not serve one man. We serve you, the people of the world, humanity. So don't put your stock into certain people. Be careful who you follow. Be careful. There's a lot of people out there. They're trying to tear people down just to tote the news, and they don't tote news. They go take news from other people who actually know military law, actually know regulations, actually know what's going on. The only two things that matter, once again, right now, are God and the military. Or whatever you believe in what you want to, but God and the military are the only two things that matter right now. If you want to rabbit hole a bunch of other crap on Telegram and all this other stuff, go do it. But the only things that matter right now are God and the military. And that's what you can put your faith and stock into. Don't lose hope. Don't be despaired. Don't fall off the ship. If you'll put your faith in God and the military and understand the Law of War Manual, understand Military Justice Act of 2016, understand all the laws from 2017 to 2021 go together like a blueprint. If you'll understand that, ladies and gentlemen, you will cling to the rock. You'll cling to the military. You'll cling to the people who are what? Want your best interest. This applies to everybody. No matter what you believe, no matter what your lifestyle is, this applies to everybody. All right, I have the documents.info, once again, has the blueprint of all this. And then also I have a new website, however you pronounce it, the1776nation.com, where you can become a point of 1776 Nation. You can buy a shirt and anything like that. We are still in the capitalist market. That's the only thing I have. I have donation links, and then I have where you can buy a shirt. Guess what? If you don't want a shirt, you ain't going to buy one. That's the only money that I've made off of any of this. I'm fine, content, and happy that God has chosen me to break this down for you. And for all of you out there, you have given me I don't even know how to describe it. I'm getting to fulfill my service. I wanted to serve longer. I didn't get to. But all of you allow me to serve a lot longer than I got to. And it's the ultimate sense of gratitude. And it's very, 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 very humbling to read all the comments. Very humbling to get all the messages. It's a very humbling experience for me. So I thank you all for that. Thank you all for the love and the support you've given as I continue on with the journey. And also to all those who have served out there, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifices. For all you who message that say your mom or your dad served, or anybody, your family members, thank you for their service and sacrifice, especially those who have already passed on. Thank you for their service and sacrifice on behalf of a great nation as they hand a flag to you when they pass. And also, for all those continuing to serve, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Also, all the spouses out there, spouses of former service members and also current, thank you for your service too and your sacrifice, and thank you for what you do for them every single day. All the Gold Star moms out there who have ever lost a child, thank you for what your son or your daughter did for our nation on behalf of a great nation. Thank you for everything. Thank you all, and we will see you soon. And happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Have a blessed and happy Thanksgiving.